Welcome to the bold analysis. There was some drama in the National Assembly today when members of parliament converged to discuss the police brutality 1 week after the mass action that was done last week. And what has really captured the attention of the country is that immediately Kimani Ichun'gwa, the majority leader in the National Assembly, rose to comment and make submission over the same. A number of UDA MPs walked out, and this is after William Chepkonga decided to raise a point of objection and claimed that the House lacked the quorum to discuss the issues of police brutality.
And Honorable KJ, because I was with Honorable KJ, can tell you, as we waited, policemen had to take cover because there were gunshots coming from the crowd. Honorable Speaker, when the Honorable PO and I was challenged on the use of the word militia, I want to state that it is indeed true. There has been a militia that has been used in these riots. Honorable Chepkonga, what is out of order? Madam Speaker, I hope you will record the news that I'm a lawyer and that I know what I'm doing. Two, Madam Speaker, this house has degenerated into chaos because we have refused to follow standing orders. Standing order number 87 is very clear. No one should rise without stating in which standing order it is. And Madam Speaker, I now rise on standing order number 87 as read together with standing order number 34. Madam Speaker, there is no quorum in this house. We cannot continue debating very serious matters when there is no quorum. There is no quorum. Number 35. Standing order 35. Standing order 35. Madam Speaker, if at any time after the chair is taken or when the House is in the committee, there is no quorum. There is nothing to fear. There is no quorum in the House. And you know, I am a person who is in order. There is no...
He has raised on the bill has to be run.
10 minutes. It is very clear that members of the ruling coalition were clearly trying to abstain from any discussion dealing with police brutality. And so in this podcast, why do you think William Ruto's team are not willing or do not want to discuss the police brutality? Kindly subscribe to our channel, click notification bell, and also like our video. And I just want to thank you very much for your support. We are doing 100 subscribers challenge to help us increase our subscription, and that's why I'm also reaching out to you in a special way that can help us to get more subscribers. Now, are you within Nairobi and its environs and you want to move your office furnitures or even household from one place to the other, and movement is very hectic? So that is why you need professional, reliable, affordable, and safe company. Contact top mark movers here for good quality services to help you move your items from place to the other, from one town to the other at an affordable rate here. Talk to them here. +254 07 19 17 43 93 07 19 17 43 93. top mark movers, they're saying quality is everything. So I hope that they got you sorted. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya Kwanza is avoiding the discussion about police brutality. This is a matter that is the next front by what Azimio is saying, in what Azimio is doing towards the same. And there was a vigil, candle vigil. They're also planning some prayer rallies. I think it will be on Friday, prayer rallies towards the same. But as the ruling coalition, their position has been that of defending the government, saying that opposition MPs, or rather the opposition leaders, the Azimio la Umoja, were wrong to call people out to come out and protest. That's their position. And they entirely blame Azimio la Umoja for the police brutality. It's a narrative that is flat, if you ask me, because it is very clear that those people that were injured, those people that were killed, those people that were maimed, were hardly maimed by fellow protesters, but they were maimed by security officers who also are armed. Just yesterday, I held an interview here with one gentleman I released from the cells, and he was clearly confessing in front of this camera here that he was removed from his house, and that was here in Nairobi, because he stays around Jacaranda. And the moment the police repelled protesters and they retreated to the streets, to the estates, then there are those who tried then to fish them out from the houses, and they were beaten. They were even, he was saying that they were not even beaten by the police, but by the fellows that were in the NYS uniform. After that, they will be bungled in the police van, the police vehicle, and then taken to the cells. And so it is very clear that less of that brutality was meted by the public or by fellow citizens, but again, law enforcement agencies. There are three reasons why UDA are avoiding this topic. You know, I've always said here that William Ruto is one man that only has himself as an advisor. You cannot, on the other end, sympathize with those who have been affected by the police and also at the same time defend the police without taking personal responsibility. Because as a head of state, you are the commander-in-chief. The security agencies all fall under the National Security Council. And you come out and defend the police, someone whom you know that, not that all of them are bad, but there are those who could have got illicit instructions, some very rogue instructions, and went out of the Public Order Act. It is true that. So while the government will stand defensive, but they need to be in a position also to acknowledge that within the system there are those who committed who violated human rights. And that is why the MPs are conflicted, because it is in public. You cannot win, even if you have nationwide political support. You cannot convince even your supporter that those who brutalized the protesters were actually fellow protesters. You cannot take that narrative and purely or clearly blame the Azimio la Umoja. Remember, the leaders were not even out. Most of them were under some very funny arrests, fear of arrests, and they were not out in public. And so they are conflicted. The MPs are conflicted in public. They know very well that you are defending, and you know it's in public. It's being captured live on camera. And when you defend it that way, what are the security officers that are still there? What is their understanding? How are they taking up things? Because what I expect, if government is very genuine, if UDA is very genuine, those policemen that stand rogue against the population needs to carry their own cross. No one should be given some plastics, some synthetic state protection. It should not. Everyone must face prosecution if someone violated the rights of someone, of a fellow Kenyan. Those people that were mutilated and maimed and killed were brothers, sisters, parents, of all of us. So we are all in this. But they don't want, remember, they know very well that your constituent is listening to you, and there is a mother that has lost a child. There is a mother that has lost a wife. I was just today, I was talking to a gentleman who was telling me, he comes from, I think that was Nyatike, and he's a lady, he's a member of this channel, Milka. And Milka was telling me that they lost the brother in Kisumu who had just gone there, was a BOG teacher. So the very day they had not even gone to, they did not even go, of course they did not report to school. And the gentleman was just within Nairobi and had not also participated in the same strike. You know. And there is a very different explanation about what happened, stray bullet and this and that. So when people are crying, there is a bit of moments of sorrow, and you come and defend someone who in one way or the other was behind a killing, you also feel conflicted as a human being. Second reason, the international community is watching government. How are they behaving? What is their position? Because most of these cases, the violation against human rights, I know very well that they are going to be taken to the court. Mostly, those cases are going to be held strong by the international human rights organizations. So they want to know, for example, someone like Kimani Ichun'gwa is the leader of majority in the National Assembly. So what Kimani Ichun'gwa says is believed to be what William Ruto thinks about the whole thing. And they want to hide and make sure that that story is suppressed. In fact, if you ask me, it's a matter of suppressing. They are suppressing the whole issue because Azimio la Umoja seems to be putting government in a very tight corner. They are now running a very critical smear campaign using the government's weakness. It was weakness. It was a loophole that I think Ruto's advisors never saw it. The kind of profiling, the ethnic profiling, is something that cannot be wished away or cannot be buried. And so they know very well that Azimio la Umoja, the next 1 week or two, activities of Azimio la Umoja will be magnifying police brutality. So what you're seeing, this lighting candles, what you are seeing about the prayer rally that is going to be organized, and quite the fundraisers, even the pay bill that they are opting to start tomorrow to fundraise to support those who might died affected by that demonstration one way or the other. It's just another way of consolidating and of course magnifying the issues of police brutality. Lastly, government is losing its popularity very fast. Very fast. I was telling someone, the 200,000 that Chebukati announced as the gap between Raila and Ruto, by then, that 200,000 is not there. In fact, even those who voted, you know, it's usual. Even by the time Kibaki was leaving, he was not one of the best. But the kind of disdain building around UDA administration should be worrying. And police brutality is something that, you know, people are seeing those videos. Nowadays there is social media. So people saw the videos of someone being removed from his house in Yalenda. People saw the photo of the private part of a man chopped. You know, those photos were all over. So even if you support UDA or not, but then, even those who support UDA, quite a number of them, especially from Mount Kenya, they were whipped around religion as an emotion. And so no one would expect to see such images or such scenes in William Ruto's administration. And that is why they are committed and finding a way of suppressing any topic to deal with the police brutality. Thank you.